Hello, my dear friends. Long time no see. I guess it is a good time to take a look at the market and find out where we at, what is the situation, and what are our expectations from the market next. And as usually, we start with Bitcoin, and my thoughts regarding Bitcoin are a little bit controversial here. Why? Because although on the daily time frame, I can see that we need to go lower, more lower, at least to $50,000 area. On the weekly time frame, we can see a little bit different situation, and we still have our favorite macro indicator that shows us that we still can change the whole picture of the macro picture of the market of Bitcoin if we hold this $49,000 and that Kijun corner. Let's go step by step. First of all, what we can see on Bitcoin time frame on the weekly time frame here is that, as I told you many times, that the most important level here for us is our global trend line, 2020 trend line that we were talking about all the time, that served us as support and resistance, and showed us the reversal of the market many times, here when we lost it, and here when we finally reclaimed it. And now we retested it for months, and as you can see, we retested once, then we broke it but recovered and closed above it. But now we finally closed below the global trend line, the 2020 trend line, the most important trend line here, that shows us that whether we are preserving our ascending trend for Bitcoin or we are reversing. So first of all, we can see that we opened the new weekly under it, and for me, this is the sign that this week we at least need to go and retest $50,000 area at least, and then we will see we will follow what is going to happen next. Because if we manage in the next few weeks to retest this zone and get back and reverse and reclaim at least $60,000, but it would be favorable if we would reclaim $64,000 by the end of the month to flip the whole macro situation into a bullish one. What we can see here, that we can do something like this. Technically, if we do that and close at least above 60 or around 64,000, we can change the whole situation, and the market can flip into a bullish pattern, into a macro bullish pattern. But before that, we need to secure that we hold this Kijun, this weekly Kijun. As you can see, this is our favorite corner that we talked about many times here when we were talking about the change of the trend here. As you can see, we lost our 2020 trend line, but we still have this corner, this Kijun corner, and it is going to be like this. We either retest it and bounce significantly with a lot of strength and reclaim this whole range, and we are safe from the falling under the Kijun, under the weekly Kijun, then we are saved here. But if we retest it and we hesitate or fail to break this 60,000 area and we fall under it, then this is going to be it, and we are going to chop in this area, but we will dump heavy up to $45,000 if we fall and close on the weekly time frame under the weekly Kijun. And we can see the confirmation why we would go to $45,000 if we fall under it. Because if we look at the monthly and we remove all these trend lines, that to see the picture clearer, we can see that this is where our next monthly Kijun support is around $44,000-$45,000, and this is where we would, if we go there, if we come to this level actually, and if we lose that weekly Kijun, then we will start consolidating here and reversing here, and this will be the best time for altcoins to pump and start the alt season and outperform the Bitcoin. And to confirm my thoughts here, let's take a look at the daily time frame. What we can see here is that although we fell under this 2020 global trend line, we still have, right now we are going for the retest of this zone, and we still have an uncovered week here. It is a pretty uncovered part of this week, and that time, the last time on Twitter, I said that this is going to be a retest, and we usually 98% of the time will never take off into the second big wave and phase of the bull market on an asset unless we cover this kind of big wick. And I still stand by that thought, and I think until we cover at least 90% of this week, we are not going anywhere. So basically what I am expecting here is retest of this global trend line around $56,000. Maybe we squeeze a little bit higher up to 27, 28, 58, and then get rejected heavily, and we get back to $50,000 at least. And this is where our fate is going to be decided here. We either reverse here and start a strong movement up, breaking this daily Kijun resistance and reclaiming this range level, and we flip into a bullish situation both on altcoins and on Bitcoin. But if we retest it and keep bleeding, or we recover but fail to reclaim this level and reclaim this 2020 global trend line, then definitely we start chopping and heavily get back to $43,000 in the next 2 months. This is not going to be easy in my opinion, but this is what I am expecting and this is what I see. Let's take a look at the total one including Bitcoin, and we can see quite the similar situation here, but it is a little bit tougher here than on the Bitcoin right now. As you can see on the total one, we don't have enough place to read for the retest. So basically if total one goes under it, then definitely it is going to probably close under it, and this will be a bad sign for the crypto market in my opinion. That is why it is a very tough decision here in my opinion. We can do something like this, but if we fail to reclaim this level, then definitely we will fall under Kijun, and definitely we will enter the bear market. So this is one to watch in my opinion. And let's take a look at the stock market, and we will look at this S&P 500. This is also the reason why I think the crypto still can go lower and can retest those levels, $50,000, $50,000 levels at least. This is what I was talking about on Twitter this week. The reversal here, as you can see, this is the clearest reversal of this level. Probably I got a better chart here that I was sharing on my Twitter account. Yes, As you can see, we have this reversal here, and we can see even the super trend. As you can see, the perfect play out here. For many months of the summer, I was talking about this probable rejection here and reversal, and we did this, and we retested this global trend line here successfully, technically perfect. And as you can see, we broke the super trend support here. What does it mean? When we break it, we go for the retest of the open super trend resistance, and if we fail to break it, then there is a high probability that this is the reversal and the market is going down. And as you can see, this is what we did this week. This is what I was talking about here in this tweet before this week. And also the NASDAQ, we will talk about it after it. And what do we expect here? Why this is a little bit important and dangerous for crypto, although you know that sometimes crypto goes in opposite direction than the stock market and S&P 500, but what you have to know that it usually goes in different directions, but when the S&P 500 starts dumping heavy, crypto will follow. Basically, as long as it chops around up and down, it is all good, and crypto can go higher and climb. But when S&P 500 and other stock market and NASDAQ starts going with candles like this, nobody can fight this trend, and crypto will feel it if we do that again this week. And after this type of candle, we usually do that. We do something like this, and we will come into 5,300, 250, somewhere there at least. And this will be the zone, the corner of Kijun, and this trend line where we probably can reverse here, or at least feel some relief. Let's take a look at the monthly, and it also looks like the reversal pattern here, but it can be changed if we change it until the end of the month. As you can see, this green candle is a reversal candle, and if we retest, if we go up to 250, 200, 5,280, 50, and then bounce, recover until the end of the month, and we remain red, then definitely the next month we will continue going lower, and probably maybe come to the 4,900, 4,800. Let's turn on the super trend, and this is where our super trend support, and this would make sense for me. But this is only if the monthly closes with the red candle here. So basically, this is the one to take a look, to keep on your radar and pay attention to. As you can see, NASDAQ is also drawing the same. I was talking about what I was posting earlier this week was that we need to hold this green line and to go higher, but we broke it in a bad way, in my opinion. That is why we are going lower on NASDAQ. What are we expecting here is probably there can be some kind of retest here, and then we go lower, and we have this whole place up to this whole space to dump to. So basically, we need to be very careful here. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about that was related to Bitcoin and the crypto market in general. Now let's take a look at some altcoins. ONDO. A lot of people ask me what is going to happen with ONDO, what are my thoughts here, and my thoughts are here that I'm done with this coin. those coins that were outperforming during the first half of the year of this year bull run, they are not interesting to me because they've already done their job, and they will take a lot of time to get back to their basics, to the zones they were sent from, the zones they took off from. This is the zone on ONDO when it was sent here, as you can see. This is where it took off and never came back. So basically, these assets will be grinding lower and lower, and their bounces will be weaker and weaker until they can come back into their global accumulation zones. Yeah, this is some kind of my scenario. It is hard to find the best entry for this one. It is going to be around here, 30, between 30 40, or maybe even between 20 and 30 cents. Then it will be a good opportunity to buy. Until then, it is not interesting to me, and I already made a lot of money on it because I bought on the day one, within the first, I guess, 15 minutes, when it dumped up to lower than 9 cents, and this is where I and my friends were buying, and we sold somewhere around here, 119. This was a good trade for me and good profit, and when I'm done with the coin, when it accomplished a mission for me, I'm done with it. So why do I think we are still going lower here? Because the macro structure, as you can see, the macro structure is, you cannot send something like this because you have a lot of space to go down here and correct here. If we look at the bigger picture, at the monthly, and you can see here that first of all we have a bearish weekly candle closing here. We can do something like this, retest it up to 70, maybe 80, 90, but we will continue dropping lower up to 40s, 30s at least. And as you can see, the whole weekly chart looks like the Burj Khalifa pattern. Yeah, the same we have on TIA, yeah, and many other new coins. Yeah, so basically on TIA it looks a little bit better because we are close to its basic ignition numbers. Yeah, here the zone that we started the ascending, yeah, and trading. But as you can see, ONDO is far away from it. At least to this zone we need to come to be comfortable to buy this coin. And as you can see, if you remember, it has 10 billion total supply, and these coins you cannot send up to $5-10 like some people expected from them. Even though these coins are not in circulation, they still represent the scarcity level, and the scarcity level of this coin is not a good one. It is not a beneficial one, and also the utility of this token is just nominal at this point. It simply serves as the stock of this company, nothing more, in my opinion, in general. So basically, of course, we need to go down, and I wouldn't buy this coin right now. So this is my opinion on this one. Let's take a look at Jupiter, one of the favorite coins on the market in the Solana ecosystem. And as I told you before on Twitter, I shared this, that we need to cover this week, and we covered it. After this retest, I said we either break this Kijun and go higher, or we get rejected, but more likely I expected us to go lower, and this is what is happening. We are going lower, and I wouldn't buy this coin because of course it still has 10 billion total supply. You cannot send this coin to $10 or something like that, like everybody was talking about when they were saying that, for example, Jupiter is the new pancake. Maybe it is a new pancake, but in the sense of popularity and trending product, but in the sense of the price wise, yeah, it is not similar to pancake in no way, because pancake had a supply of hundreds of millions tokens, I guess, and that is why you can, with that supply, you can send it to 20, 30, $40. Of course you can send it, you can make it skyrocket, but with Jupiter, with 10 billion total supply, it is too much. It is deflational model, it is not scarce. So why would anyone, and what power you need to have? This coin needs to be the reserve currency of the United States to go to $10. So basically that is why I was expecting it to go. Yeah, it had some strength, but it was exit pump. All that strength that we saw lately here in July was simply an exit pump. So that is why I expect something like this, or directly from here we will still keep bleeding at least until this level of 57 cents, and this is where we can feel some relief, and retest this zone and start accumulation zone here. But in my opinion, there is a high probability that we will even go lower, up to 47.50 cents, because we have this uncovered week here, and usually we cover this weeks. And this is not a problem in my opinion, because the sharper will be this descending angle here, the stronger will be the push when we finally go into parabolic mode here. So the sharper will be the angle here. You can draw the counter trend line here. The longer will be the accumulation in this zone, or in this zone, the harder will be the push. But in my opinion, this is not the asset that will give you, I guess, 10x or 7-8x, and this is what people usually look in when they buy crypto or invest in something. So basically Jupiter is not a buy for me right now. And in my opinion, Solana ecosystem that was that was trending and was popular in this year is not going to be that bullish in the coming months, in my opinion. Maybe, as you can see, Solana is at the similar level as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others. We are retesting this Kijun corner that will tell us about whether we will continue the uptrend here, or we will lose it and we officially enter the macro downtrend here for these assets. And I think, in my opinion, the modest opinion of mine, Solana can lose their track, and we will focus on other networks in the coming months and year. But maybe I'm wrong here. So basically just my personal opinion here, because technically we can reverse here, but usually when we have this type of two bearish, very bearish candles here, one that totally engulfs this previous upside movement, and the second one that not only engulfs this movement but goes lower than the bottom of this structure. So basically, for me, any attempt here, there is high probability that we will lose this this Kijun support and we will go lower. There's a high probability of that, and we need to be prepared for it and be wise with our risk management, money management, investments. Let's take a look at optimism. Yeah, And this is one that I was talking about many times, shared it on Twitter. Okay, as long as we lost all these trend lines, the green and the supporting one, the pink one, for me it was a bearish situation here. We tried to fool everybody around to break it. We had a false break, but the thing is that it closed under it. And as you can see on the macro level, on the higher time frame, on the weekly, we can see the closing under it and the huge rejection. This is a very bearish, in my opinion, very bearish reversal candle here. So what does it mean to me? It is either from the current level of 144 or from the 156. If we go for the retest of it, we will still reverse here and go for the recovery. First of all, this week, and secondly, this the most important one and the historically older one. This week we will come to $1.92, somewhere there, in my opinion. So that is why optimism is not an option for buying to me. And secondly, it doesn't have any utility. So why do I, like Arbitrum, why do I buy it? Even Mantel's token, it is also the Bybit's Ethereum L2. It has utility. You pay fees with the Mantle token. What do you pay with OP? Nothing. Purely governance token, in my opinion. And of course, it represents the value of the company, but it is not that beneficial, in my opinion. And the supply is big, in my opinion, of OP, 4 or 3 billion tokens. It will always be limited to, this asset will always be limited, in my opinion, to $3 or $5. So no reason for me to buy it, no interest, no surprise, no excessive or planned profit can be made with it, in my opinion. That's for me only. Let's take a look at Injective. Somebody was asking me to analyze Injective, but what I said was this: I'm not looking at, yes, Injective, I was very bullish about Injective back in 2022, 2023. I even wanted to buy it. I had an order, but unfortunately my order didn't get filled. Yes, I had it at $1. It stopped here around 120, 117, somewhere there, and it didn't reach my order. I had a few coins, some of them got filled, but Injective didn't. And after that, when the news about the funding from the VCs came out, of course it started skyrocketing. I entered around 211, somewhere there, and I sold mistakenly around $5+, $5.50. I don't remember where. I had some local trend line resistance, and I sold and went to sleep. And when I woke up, we broke that level, that zone. And of course I was sorry. I regretted that I sold it. I wanted to enter lower, but it is now clear that we had to go higher. But back then, at that time, on a daily or 4-hour time frame, it didn't look like that. So basically I lost it, and I was ready to re-enter, but I didn't get that opportunity. I guess that was somewhere, yeah, it was lower than this line. That is why I didn't get an additional opportunity to re-enter this asset. So when I never catch the train that left, so I missed this one. Of course, there has been a great move higher, great parabolic movement, but I missed this one. But I nailed on other coins like Velodrome, Aerodrome, Akash Network, the others. So be it. and a lot of people who were investing in it, and most of them didn't take profit because they expected $100 for injective. And I said right here in 2023 at the beginning that there will be no $100 this cycle, in my opinion. And when everybody was buying here, adding more or longing, I said I did not expect much higher from here. And as you can see, we broke this trend line, went lower. And as you can see, since we went down, we lost that 2020 trend line, tried to reclaim it and draw something like the reclaim, but as you can see, we had the reversal here, the retest of this trend line, as I said before, and then after that we recovered confidently, and then we met the resistance upon this counter trend line, and this resistance was heavy. It engulfed this movement very bad and closed below the funding here, the baseline here where we started the recovery. That is not a very good sentiment here, and that is why I drew this and I left this possible pattern of possible price action pattern. In my opinion, there is no need to buy assets that were outperforming during the last bull run. They are done. They will keep bleeding. They will not have, in my opinion, the same strong movements, the strong candles. And let's take a look at this. And my opinion is this: we retest something here, we start recovering, maybe we break this line, go for the recovery, retest this trend line and try to do something like this, but sooner or later here or here we will dump and we'll go to this zone, $9 in my opinion. This is where this is going, and on the macro level it can go like forever if we don't lose this one. So basically, for me, it is not the asset of interest already. And why do I think we will go into this yellow zone, this support of the previous major support of the previous cycle, and do not stop at this global 2023 trend line that's held the whole trend that we had in 2023? Because let's turn off the volume spikes indicator, and what do we see here? We see a clear inefficiency of volumes. This is an untraded area for us that is not closed, and sooner or later we will be closing it, in my opinion. So this would be the first area where I would buy if I were a fan of this token and was believing in it. So these are my thoughts regarding injective. What do we have next? I guess we had C, and I don't think, if we look at C on the macro level here on the monthly time frame, it looks like it wants to reverse here and go higher. Technically it does, but when I look, it even can. It can even go up to 40 cents, but not higher. What's the point of buying it then, in my opinion? And what we have on the weekly time frame, first of all, we lost this trend line. We lost it, and we started, let's get back to it, and we lost it, tried to reclaim it, and we met strong resistance here, and as you can see, we got rejected with a very bearish candle without any pin bars at the bottom, and as you can see, we closed under this purple trend line and also with the bearish reversal candle, engulfing candle here. So this one says that we are going down, we are going lower, and where this can happen from this level of around 28 cents, or we will go for the retest of 32 cents, meet the same resistance, multiple resistances here. It is intersection of this green dotted counter trend line, of this local trend line and the global trend line, and we will go for the retest at least of 21.22 here, and who knows what is going to happen next. But in my opinion, this whole situation here is about that this asset is overbought, and we will still can go as low as 14-15 cents, or maybe even worse. Why? Because we have this macro structure, how the charts are and structures on assets are being built, and this is an asset with 10 billion token supply, and as you can see, we outperformed this year. So basically what it needs to do is bleed and chop for many, I guess for a year at least, before we can find some bottom, in my opinion, and then send next 4x 5x at least until this purple trend line. So basically it is not a buy for me, and definitely I recommend not engaging into some assets that were outperforming during the 2024 bull run. This is my advice. You can perceive it as financial advice also. Won't be harm in any of that. And let's take a look at another outperformer this year, not maybe the very outperforming asset, but the one that was feeling good and was doing good and providing some profit and was looking strong, in my opinion, this whole year. Yeah, let's take a look at it. And as you can see, just now near has broken the Kijun, the weekly Kijun. And what does this mean? We will go for the retest of $3 for $2.90 at least. We have this uncovered week here, and this can even send us to 250 to 60, and maybe after that we will start recovering. If we do not fall immediately, we can do something like this to 489 and get back down. So basically this is not the asset I would like to take my eye on, keep my eye on, because there are some other new assets that haven't seen the real bull run ascending and accumulation yet, and they are more interesting for me because they're fresh and their patrons, their investors will be protecting them and showing them some attention and involvement. So that is why I'm looking at them. Let's take a look at TVT. A very clear situation here. If you remember last time on Twitter, I was sharing this break of the counter trend line and trend line, and as soon as we broke it and recovered, I was waiting for it to retest the 97 zone $1, as I was writing on my Twitter page. And as you can see, we met the perfect reversal here, and the reversal with a clear bearish candle. What does this candle mean? That we will keep going lower at least until we recover this week around 68-70 cents. So basically, if we keep going higher, it is a great opportunity to add to shorts. It can go up to 88 cents, for example, or up to 95-97, but not higher. I even doubt that it will go to 95 cents, because this kind of closings, these kind of candles will never go higher than them. So basically somewhere there, resistance, and it goes lower. It is a quick, not quick, but certain 20% move. This is the TVT, the Trust Wallet token of Binance. Let's take a look at the Fed. Some people were still believe in it and believe in AI, and they were asking me where should we buy it, and we're talking that it is bullish because it had this strong recovery lately, but in my opinion it is not strong. For me it is logical, because what the main rule of the market, and is the same as the rule of the physics of the nature, the higher the asset moves, the higher in the and higher and faster the asset moves in time. Like here we had this parabolic up only movement without any retests, trading through zones. The harder it will fall down. This is the rule, and we can see it. As long as Bitcoin started reversing from here in May, when Bitcoin started to test important global support zones, Fed started dumping heavily. And as you can see, we dumped 65-67% from that area. And somebody was asking me, where should I buy Fed if I'm interested? I said that I would buy not earlier than 55 cents here, this zone. And it didn't get to there, but I was also talking about the possible bounce, local bounce from 63, 65, somewhere there. Yeah, it didn't get a little bit to that zone, but as you can see, we have the recovery from the zone of interest. This is the zone that we were trading through, and as you can see, we got the reversal here and the bounce from here. Why? Because we had this zone of orders here of open interest, and this zone is not going to fall on the first touch. It is not going to be defeated on the first try, but we will retest it sooner or later, in my opinion. So that is why we had this strong reversal. And the assets also the same as the assets that fly fast and high, they dump hard. The same with the dumping hard. The assets that dump hard, they bounce hard when they reverse, when they feel the relief on the market. And this is what we did here. And basically, because we had this pressure, we opened very tightly to the Kijun, and it sent us higher. And as long as this asset is popular among the crypto community, of course they supported this move and they longed, and it helped us to go a little bit higher, to have a nice 60% move, more than 60%, but still. And where did we? But I wasn't that bullish and inspired by this move, because I knew that this is going to end. Why? Because first of all, we have this global counter trend line. This is the black counter trend line resistance, and we will feel resistance upon it. As you can see, here is our resistance here. And secondly, we closed under the weekly Kijun resistance. What does it say to us? It says that the bull market for Fed has ended for now, and it needs another accumulation period, reaccumulation period. So those who were buying and riding this up, they have distributed already, and this is only keeping it the moves and the actions to keep it healthy and safe. So there are two scenarios here that I see, and I shared it on Twitter lately. So basically, we either go for retest and we recover this week, and eventually we go to 55 cents, and of course we recover from it and bounce. here and start building some kind of accumulation zone here. Highly likely. I'm not sure right now, and will not be talking about the possibility of dumping lower to 25-30 cents. As long as we hold this level, we are not going there. It is not the time to talk about those possibilities. And there is still another possibility that we do something like this and we start recovering. This is if Bitcoin goes to above $60,000, then definitely Fed will revive too, and it goes up to 158 and max up to 187. But after that, it will continue going lower and will come back to 55-56 cents zone as we set it. So basically, if you expect to buy Fed and make some juicy profits, or on spot, of course you can long, short, whatever you want from these levels that I showed you. It will be working perfectly for you. But if you want to buy and hold and make some juicy profits, it is not the time and it is not the asset. The price is around $1. What will you do if it goes here 60%, 80%, 86%? But the time you will spend for the retest, it will not be worth it, in my opinion. So basically, you either wait for the 60-55 cent zone to rebuy it, or forget about it and find other more profitable alternatives. So the next one will be, I guess, MINA. MINA is interesting, but let's take a look at it. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Okay, we found support in this area, as I said before. Always when we have a all-time low and accumulation area where we have the blocks of interest, the orders of interest, we always bounce from these levels. And as you can see, even though we broke it with a fake out, we recovered very fast and went up, right, 30-40% from this level that I said that is a good place to buy locally. But that doesn't mean that we will reverse here, and it is actually hard to say right now whether we will reverse here and go higher or will go lower. And I have feelings and I have thoughts that we will go lower a little bit because of the way we closed this engulfing candle and full candle without even wicks. And let's take a look at the daily and what we have here. We have an unfilled wick here, and in my opinion, as long as we don't cover it, we are not going higher. So basically something like this, and we will still come back to 35-33 cents, 31 maybe. Who knows how low it can go, but I see some marketing and some technical news and updates from the MINA team. Their cooperation and partnership with Aligned, new company, sounds good and interesting. In my opinion, one day MINA can go from these levels up to a few dollars at least, but we need to hold this line first, and the market needs to feel better first before we do so. Okay, let's take a look at some assets that have become of interest to me. Why? Because they are new. First of all, MANTA. I never thought I would be interested in MANTA, because I never thought this is a great product or something the market needed, and it reminded me simply of Polkadot, useless ecosystem, I don't know, blockchain, and definitely I wasn't looking into this network. But right now, for me, this is an asset that didn't see the bull run. Some people can say, well, they saw because it was listed on January, but definitely what I mean by not seeing the bull run means that these assets didn't have the bottom, the accumulation. I don't know, they didn't go from some bottom. They were listed and didn't show some rally, like for example Celestia. It was listed here and it went all the way through, up and down, trading through its way to the highs. But MANTA, it wasn't doing so. This is not the upside movement. This is the candle that the exchange bots are drawing on the day of listing. So basically MANTA was listed here around $240 to $260, and after that, although we had some tries to go higher and draw some rally, we only had a down only movement here. So basically this asset didn't have the real bull run yet, and and also didn't have an accumulation zone here. So basically what do we do here? But I can see that it is trading and building its pattern nicely. It respects all the zones that I drew here. And what do we do when we have this type of listing? If we look at the Fibonacci, I use this retracement, and usually everybody looks at 61.8, 618 level. This is usually the level for the retracements, but not for the downtrend. And during the downtrend, the assets stop either at level 0.786 here, or between 786 and 1, somewhere here. And the worst assets without any perspectives and the teams behind it to support it and market makers, they can go even up to 1 level, but I don't think MANTA will be the case. So for me, MANTA has become an interesting asset. Why? Fundamentally, let's take a look at it. The price 65 cents, 66, and let's take a look at the drop step. I have MANTA here. 1 billion total supply. This is a good number of total supply that can allow an asset and or even blockchain. It is qualified as blockchain here in this classification here, although it is L2 for Ethereum, but still 1 billion total supply and 65 cents. The assets with 1 billion supply, technically they do not have limit. It depends only on popularity of the asset and product of the network, whether it's used, and I have seen lately that it is being used, and also the usage of their token. Usually the blockchains that have 1 billion supply and their token is used, meaning to pay fees for the transactions on the network, like Aptos, Solana, and Polkadot and others, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. With 1 billion total supply, they can go up to $20, $40, $50, you name it. But MANTA, of course, is not that kind of blockchain, but still MANTA token has utility, unlike Optimism and Arbitrum. Like MANTA is used to pay for fees on the network, and MANTA network can also be used to pay for fees on the MANTA Pacific network. So basically it has more utility than just a governance token. And of course the circulating supply is 374 million, and of course there will be unlocks, but I think they will not pressure a lot this asset. In my opinion, let's take a look at investors. Polychain Capital, the top tier, multi-coin capital, polychain capital, and of course Binance Labs. And we can see coin fund here as well. And in my opinion, from my experience, Binance Labs never lets its projects die, and they supported MANTA network significantly during the launch and in general and in funding. So basically, I think Binance will not abandon this project, and that is why with the price of 65, it is a safe asset to invest in my opinion. But this is not the zone I would like to buy. What is the zone I would like to buy? We cannot find the perfect entry here because we don't know. It is an open space here. We don't have the history, but in my opinion, around 40 cents, 42 up to 37, I expect some kind of rejection. If we have rejection here and some kind of trading here, I expect another wave lower here, and this is where I would buy it. And this would be a good buy in my opinion, price wise. And what am I expecting next? I'm going to place a little counter trend line here, and this will be the sign for me when we flip into a bullish phase. Once we break this green line, it means that we flipped bullish and we are running higher. So basically, depending on where is going to be our bottom, we are just guessing where the bottom is going to be. And I'm guessing somewhere here between 42 and 37, 35, I guess, cents. And what are we going to do next? It doesn't mean if it is going to be our bottom, it doesn't mean that we are going to climb to $2-3 immediately. No, we are going to build a long, in my opinion, a long rounding bottom. And for that, I'm going to work with this asset, and I'm not expecting more than x3 movements on this asset. But how am I going to planning on doing x9 at least on it, minimum? Because I am going to buy here if I get a chance somewhere here in this zone, and then we go for the first retest here. If we break this zone, we go for a retest of this zone here, somewhere here, and this is going to be around 200% move. I will take profit and will wait. We either reverse here, somewhere here, or here in this zone. Maybe we'll have some kind of fake out here, but we will 100% will be back into this zone. Maybe, and I will rebuy, maybe not here where I bought, but around 50, 48, 55, somewhere here, and I will increase my my MANTA stack by 50%, and thus I will be safe in my investments because it will lower my entry, overall entry, and I will be able to hold it and hold until it gives me the expected, draws some kind of double bottom here, and it will give me at least to 180, 220, and this will maybe will go higher, but right now I'm thinking only about these realistic levels here. So basically I triple here, a little bit around 2.5 and 3 here, then rebuy it and make x8, x9 by the end of this rally here at least. And this is an interesting opportunity here, and the same opportunity I see around alt layer, but alt layer has, in my opinion, less attractiveness in terms of utility of this token. But yes, I think maybe it is going to break right now and start climbing or sliding upon this trend line, and will be drawing the new bottom around 5-4 cents, and it will be worth buying it in the for the long term. and when we start recovering, we'll see this, we will find the first resistance around 15 cents or 17-18 cents rejection here, and we wait for the comeback to this zone around 8-9 for the rebuy. It can go even lower to retest our all-time low, but maybe not. That is why I would buy here around 8 cents, because we can do something like this, or we can do something like this, and we will go back for the retest of our 29-30 cents. So basically, make calculations yourself. Can do x3, x2 here, x3, then recovery, and then from here we make another one. This is how I work with my assets. So basically this is a good one for me to try. We are not talking about the possibilities of the higher parabolic run. It can happen. We just need to follow how the level, this key level, is going to react, whether we get rejected with some reversal candles, of course, then sell. If we reclaim it and hold it and send higher, then of course we hold until that level. So basically this is the same with MANTA and alt layer. Yeah, I expect from these assets for us to draw some classic lasting rounding bottom of accumulation here. Okay, let's take a look at another one similar to this is ACE. This is the Fusionist. This is the Binance latest gaming token. I don't know how the gaming tokens are going to behave and feel in the next bull market. They weren't that popular in the last year, but still I think there will be still possibility to buy it around $1, maybe a good catch. But for me, I probably will not. I expect the similar rounding bottom here, some kind of rounding bottom here, like this, and probably we'll draw something similar to MANTA, to alt layer, and other similar coins with similar patterns, in my opinion. But it looks great in my opinion, and this one I'm not going to buy, but in my opinion I think I won't be buying it, but I will be long in it if I will be given the opportunity. And as you can see, the opportunity here, this counter trend line, once we break it, it is a long, it is a good long, and we will be retesting it. So basically working with this counter trend line is easy if you know what I mean, if you follow me long enough and you know how to trade. I guess we were talking about a little too long. These were some assets I wanted to cover. Hope you enjoyed it or found something interesting. Have a nice